Day 25 of buying my reseller warehouse. My employees were here a little while ago and they've come and gone. All the shipping is taken care of. We're just coming off of our second weekend of having snow here in Charlotte. Actually, the previous weekend was ice. This was the snow weekend, but it was fine. Everybody just kind of stayed home and hunkered down. I was able actually to edit a lot of video and kind of get caught up in a lot of unboxing videos that I have filmed but not yet published, and that was something I wanted to talk about a little bit in today's installment as I'm getting a little bit closer to finishing this 30-day journey of buying my reseller warehouse. So I'm over here in the back of the building and I opened up this tub so you can kind of see this. This is essentially what I get. This is how I get inventory for my reselling business. I literally just get a little package. Sometimes it's just a tiny priority mailbox or padded mailer that are scout collections. And so on my website, Scout Patch Collectors, I'm very upfront and tell everyone what I do, that I'm a collector, that I try to buy scouting memorabilia collections so that I can get them recycled back into scouting. A lot of times I'm talking to people who have loved ones who've passed away and there's no one in the family interested in the collection. So instead of taking it to Goodwill, they'll go on the internet, find someone like me and connect. And I just try to be very honest and open about it and, tell people just to call me and we'll talk about it. And so that's kind of how this works. And so I have all of this stuff here that has a red tag are collections that I have bought and I have not yet processed. So this whole wall here is not red tagged items. This is all stuff that kind of came in here. But eventually, all of the red tagged items will go into this streaming room back here. And that's where my plan is to do all my unboxing videos so that I can share the history when I open up the box. Sometimes the families have shared with me some interesting information about the person who the collection belonged to. Sometimes I'm buying it from the actual person. They're just trying to help their family out. A lot of times it's people who are older, maybe in their 60s or going into their 70s, and they've kind of had all these conversations and they know that the family is not interested in, dad's or grandpa's old scout stuff, and so they're looking for someone who would be interested in that. So the shelves that I'm going to build in here are going to go there. Now I'm fixing to show you guys a mess. Whoa, this is a mess. All right, so as I've told you before, I do a Whatnot show on Wednesday nights, and this week I am determined to two things: to do it from the new building, but also to have everything preloaded, meaning that I take the pictures ahead of time and everybody can see what I'm going to put in the show. And so I've got a couple of collections I just bought recently. This stuff here I just bought recently, including all of these patches that are in album pages. And I'm kind of going through here trying to decide what I want to put in the show. And then I'm sorting out other piles, because basically what I do is create lots. And then in the Whatnot show, which is a live selling show, in case you've not heard of this platform, where literally I have a camera and everyone can see what I'm auctioning off. And we run it with $5 starts and only 15 seconds on the auction clock. It's pretty fun. It goes pretty fast. And so I'm trying to divide up lots that I could put into Wednesday's show. And that's really what I wanted to come and do today, so I could try to get a little bit ahead of the game. I may have told my people last week that I obligated myself to get everything pre-built. So still working on that. Not much has happened since the last day that we've been here, because we've had this snowstorm blow in and all of us were gone for 2 days kind of hunkering down and waiting for the snow to melt. But thankfully the snow is melting, and so I was able to get here. Shannon and Holly and their other daughter were able to get here, and yeah, so we're basically okay. But as far as continuing to get all this stuff done, we still got a lot of work to do. So I think that before I push off for a scouting memorabilia show in Indianapolis later this week, we can make a little more progress here, especially hopefully continuing to get these aisles kind of emptied out and make room here in the middle so we can finish out the build of the shelves and get this thing set up. We have a little bit of repair work to do on this table right here. One of the legs, the screw was kind of busted up, and so we have a plan for how we can fix that. And again, these tables are going to be on casters so that we can have them rolling around in the warehouse. So day 25 looks a little bit different. We're just, again, coming off of the snowstorm, so things are a little slower. But I wanted to kind of show you those collections, because that's really kind of the bread and butter of how this works for me. I don't Go to thrift stores. I don't go to yard sales. I know this sounds very weird to people who are in resellers who sell clothing or other collectibles and antiques, but I have just built up an audience, whether it be on YouTube or whether it be a website or just my customers. When I buy or when I sell something online or whatnot or wherever, I always include my business card, and my business card tells people what my business is, buying and selling and trading scouting memorabilia. And so it's interesting how years later, I've been doing this for like 25 years later, I will buy collections and in there I'll find my business card that someone has kept. So that marketing, I guess, worked out. Really busy. Let me just kind of show you my desk. So this obviously is not the permanent office space, but I have been in here working on stuff, doing some early unboxings. The very first unboxing that I ever did was just a few minutes ago, and I just finished sharing that with my Patreon group. I do have a Patreon group. It's just really for scout memorabilia collectors who are diehards. So if you're just a regular reseller, you wouldn't care about it. But it's called the Scouting Hot Finds Insiders, and it's basically for people who want to see all the behind the scenes stuff. So stuff I wouldn't necessarily want to put out on Facebook. So for example, I just opened, whoa, one of the most unbelievable collections that I've ever gotten in the mail, and it's so unbelievable that I can't put it on YouTube because it's just, wow. So I recorded that just for my insiders, where I could share all of my sort of story and everything I wanted to say about it, because I was just so excited to open up that little box. There was something in there that was awfully special. But anyways, again, not trying to encourage anyone to sign up for my Patreon group. That is not the purpose. Let's talk about this move. All right, so this was a really good day. Finally starting to clean up in here. The ladies came and did the shipping. All that was taken care of. I have been attacking boxes, trying to get boxes off the floor. So there was like a box here. I attacked that, got it broken down. I got some trash I got to take. This is all old tech that I'm going to take, and we're going to do some electronic recycling, obviously. So 2 laptops and 2 old desktops that we've had for a long time. I'm going to get those. This, however, is not going to the electronic recycling. This is my Bose box. I love this thing. Y'all, when I was a kid at Scouts, one of the first memories I have at a big Boy Scout thing was a guy in our group had one of these and this Bose box, and he was playing music that there's like 50 of us, and we all like coordinated our dances, and we were singing and carrying on. And so like this was like, you know, sort of like this was the Pied Piper, you know, we all danced to the music that he played, because this thing can get loud, and if you plug in batteries and stuff. So this is something that I bought off eBay. I don't buy too much off eBay, to be honest, but I bought this a couple years ago. Well, actually, maybe it's been like 5 or 6 years ago. I used to take this to summer camp when I was a summer camp director, and we would use it out in the field where we would do this big like water party with the kids and stuff. And so anyways, now it's here in my office. And so far I have, when everybody leaves, this is like my little treat. When everybody leaves, I'll use my little Bluetooth gadget, and I'll be able to play some music kind of loud when it's just me. So I'm kind of like enjoying this space and really starting to feel real comfortable here. So, all right, let me show you some more of the progress. This is beautiful. Check out this table and look what it can do. It can roll, baby. So I know I had talked about this and said that I wanted to have these tables and I wanted to have casters. So Brad did this today. He got the casters on, and these are the kind where I can kick down and stomp and it'll stay put. But my goal is to have kind of some tables. All of this I know is still, we're working on it, y'all. All of this in the middle, there'll be about a 10-foot aisle here in the middle where we'll have two more rows of shelves over here, and then we'll have this row of shelf. And my idea is in the middle, I'll have some tables like this, where we can use this as a workspace, because everything over here is all stuff that we're still working on. These are things that we have sorted. Most of these we have not photographed yet, and we're still loading up more and more boxes of these. We haven't even got them all unpacked yet. But you know, I sell scouting memorabilia, right? So you can see we just have boxes and boxes of patches that are ready to be photographed, ready to go, but we just need a workspace. And so this, you know, this is why I laid this all out with these lights. All of this can be just a giant workspace, and then we'll have more shelves right here. We've been attacking these boxes. My Julie worked on a lot of this today, getting the stuff over. And again, you can see holes now where we started, you know, removing boxes and emptying boxes out. We have some of this shelving. I'll show you that next. This is stuff that Lori went through and was working on today. And this is stuff that's kind of like rusty and beat up. So we're probably gonna, I'll take that to the recycling, and then I'll show you what Lori accomplished today. So the metal shelving for us is a little bit of like, you know, it's not like the wooden shelving, obviously. And so for right now, we've kind of put it in here. And actually that door does open, no problem. I thought, oh, it's a little tight, but actually this door opens just fine to there. So I don't think that'll be a problem as far as the bathroom. And so we haven't, you know, I don't have this all mapped out like I kind of have everything else mapped out, but we're trying to use some of this metal shelving that we can. And I got the electrician came over today, and he came over to get a check. Whew, it was a big check. Like biggest check I've written in my life. So got him all paid up. He's still got to come back and do a couple things. He's waiting on some parts to arrive, but I know he will. He'll do that. But he is going to give me a contact for a guy who can come in here and finish this project for me. So I had this guy that has done work for us at my house, and I wanted to give him the job, but it's one of those times, and I know you've had people like this, workmen, who like you text them and you don't hear back. And it's like, you know, they just don't communicate quickly. I mean, and I'm not talking about like I texted him and 2 hours later I hadn't heard back. It's like I text him like, hey, can you come? Can we do this? And crickets, you know, and it's like, so originally I was going to have that guy do the plumbing and maybe even do the electrical, but he just wouldn't respond. So my electrician, you know, did the electrical here. That's for the microwave. And then his contact, who was a plumber, did all the plumbing. And so he said, hey, I've got this young guy who kind of, you know, is looking for work, and he could come and maybe do the cabinets. And I'm like, yeah. I said, what I need someone who can just come here and measure, and then ride with me to Lowe's or follow me to Lowe's, which is not very far away. I've given Lowe's a lot of business, not sponsored by Lowe's. And we will just buy the cabinets and then bring them all back, and then he can put it all together, right? So we're gonna have a countertop with the sink. The sink's obviously gonna go there. It's gonna be a refrigerator here, full-size refrigerator with water and ice. Julie is donating that to the cause. And we'll have a microwave up here. So this will be like our full break area. So again, I don't know that these shelves stay here. We've just put them here for now. We can obviously pick them up and move them, but you know, it's got a bathroom, you can wash your hands. You know, there'll be a sink there too, but this will kind of be, you know, I don't envision this will be kind of like, this might just be the break room. I don't know, might have a little round table over here. I don't know, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Still figuring this out. What else? Let me take you to the front. I finally, for the first time, broke out the vacuum cleaner. You would think I'd be vacuuming all along, but you know, it's been so messy. We've been cutting stuff and sawing stuff, so I really haven't been vacuuming, but I did try to get the front cleaned up a lot. So not that you can really tell, but there was these uniforms in the other videos have been like laying on the floor. So I got them up, I got all this stuff organized, I vacuumed all this. I found, you know, I'm coming across stuff, like I know I'm gonna need all of these power strips, and so I've just been putting them together and put a little zip tie on them to keep them together. Going through the tech that we have. Got a pile here of printer toners that we don't use. We don't have those printers anymore, so I can take that to one of the big box stores, and they'll give me a little credit, I think, for doing that. So that is pretty much it. We had really a good day. I'm pretty happy about everything. So it's looking good. It's looking good. So tomorrow will be another big day. We will try to just continue attacking these piles and getting stuff out of here. And I won't have Brad again until next week. So might get Lori over here for a little while. And then I think the other ones that we'll keep tacking these boxes. I would love to kind of clear out this aisle. Like that would kind of be a goal for tomorrow, is get this aisle cleared out. And of course it just means moving stuff to other parts of the building. But none of this stuff lives here. This is just, you know, kind of from the move, right? That's why all this stuff is here. And then we also need to keep loading up this shelf, and as we uncover boxes and find things that are kind of office supplies, do that. So Got a little bit of update for you on Lance, you know, the neighbor down here. I went ahead, walked down there, and I'd handwritten a little note and stapled my business card to it, and I put it on his door to see if I could make a connection with him, because he's one of those guys, like when he goes into his building, I told you it's kind of like a storage building almost, he just like locks the door, and, you know, and he's like somewhere down in there. It's a 10,000 square foot building. So, you know, me tapping on the door, he's not hearing any of that. So I left him a note and said, hey, I'd love to come talk to you about helping you get some of the stuff out of there, because again, he has envelopes and paper and all that. So hopefully Lance will connect with me on that, and we'll make it happen. So, all right, guys, thanks very much for watching. Oh, I'm losing track of the days. Day 24, 25, I think day 25. Yeah, day 25. So not much longer, but I'm really hoping that you guys will get to see kind of like the end. And I would say the end for me would be all of this gone, most all these shelves built, the workstations arriving. I almost hope that happens like on day 30. And I might even have to fudge a little bit to make it be day 30, because I feel like for me, that would be kind of the finale of putting all this together. Because as you'll see in that episode, I actually recorded some video of me going out and sourcing the butcher blocks and trying to put these workstations together. So that was really one of the first things that I spent time and money on, trying to get this building ready before we even bought it, because I knew that it would take a long time to get them ready and kind of to go. So hopefully I'll be able to include that in the final video. So, all right, Jason Spangler, the SanteeSwapper. Definitely check out the playlist. You can see all 30 days in this journey of me buying my reseller warehouse and moving in. And obviously like and subscribe and all the things. Appreciate you watching.